Hey, we're back at the topic again today, here to cover a topic in a 3-video series. That topic is about the controversy regarding the fact that there is no national dex, causing many Pokemon to be completely unavailable until they debut in a later game, and the graphics not being up to par with the HD nature of the Nintendo Switch. This series is all about the discussion, so as we talk about the highs, the lows, and the resolution, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments down in the comments section so we can go even further discussing this problem. Now then, today's video regards the negative side of the controversy and the impact that it will cause throughout the franchise. So, with that, let's dive into this video. So if you don't know what the origin of the controversy is, it all dates back to E3, where it was announced that Pokemon that were not in the Galar regional dex would not be appearing in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
And so what that means for Pokemon Sword and Shield is that players will be able to transfer their Pokemon from Pokemon Home only if they appear in the Galar region Pokedex.
They'd just be stuck in Pokemon Home until the next game that actually had them debut in, then they could be brought into Generation 8. The problem there is that people reacted to that very negatively, because then all of a sudden, certain Pokemon you just can't use. They're just kind of retconned out of the game until they are available in a future game. Now, but the original problem here is that a lot of people don't want their favorite Pokemon, or Pokemon they like in general, to not be in the game. They want to use the Pokemon they like to use. So, for me, my favorite Pokemon is such as like Gallade, Delphox, all that good stuff. Some of those might not be even in the game, such as Delphox, because Delphox is a starter. I know, shocking. A person actually likes Delphox. That's strange. The whole point being is that, let's say that, well, I can't say Maractus. Maractus has been confirmed for the game, but if, I can't think, let's just use Delphox again. Delphox is not in the game. I can't use my super crazy shenanigans that I have used in Draft League format without it. It was a very helpful member of my team back in the PGL last year. So, now that it's not there, who do I turn to? It's kind of limiting your options that you can use, but it all depends. That is the first problem. Now, a lot of people keep pointing at the old slogan, gotta catch 'em all, and how they keep memeing it is, gotta catch some of them. Now, the thing is, I don't believe that that has been the slogan for well over a decade, if not close to a decade. The whole point being is, it does make sense. If your whole goal is to catch 'em all, and not all of them are there, then it becomes a little bit redundant. The one thing I do want to point out is the fact that the National Dex actually hasn't been a thing since Sun and Moon, I believe? Sun and Moon did not have a National Dex, and all you had to do was catch them all in the Alolan Dex. However, you could still transfer Pokemon over from previous games into Sun and Moon, and that's different in Sword and Shield, as you cannot do that. I don't exactly know what the slogan is nowadays, but when it is built off of gotta catch 'em all way in the past, and you want to catch 'em all and having to complete the Pokedex and collecting every single Pokemon, it does really suck that certain options aren't available for you to use. This next complaint is something I've seen that's thrown around a lot, and that is the complaint that people think that GameFreak just don't care about Pokemon anymore. But if that was the case, you'd think they want to offload Pokemon to a different developer, one that quote-unquote cares. Now, I'm not really trashing this idea, as certain reports have come out that GameFreak is focusing more on the game Town, which that report even remains to be seen if it's true or not. It's definitely something to keep track of. I mean, let's look at one of these reports now. Let's take a look at the one from comicbook.com. In addition to the Pokemon team, Onoe says Game Freak has a Gear Project team which recently produced Giga Wrecker and is also working on Town. Town is the game I mentioned earlier. There are two different productions team here, simply named Production Team 1 and Production Team 2, said Onoe. Team 1 is fully dedicated to Gear Project, while Team 2 is for Pokemon Operation, aka Pokemon Sword and Shield. What that means is that Game Freak, as a company, is prioritizing Gear Project, which is Production Team number 1, more than Pokemon in general. We are always trying to create something that is equally exciting or more exciting than Pokemon. According to Onoe, there's a lot of back and forth between the two teams. The director and the designer also pointed out that if Team 1 is a bit more diverse in terms of what it can do, because it's working on hardware that isn't just Nintendo hardware. And from the sounds of it, this development approach is making Game Freak more well-rounded. Now, when you look at that report, you definitely have to worry about it, as it looks like they're putting all their eggs in one basket, that basket being for Town. Now, we'll have to see if that remains true as time goes on, but we'll see how well they can recover from this controversy after saying stuff like that. This is one of the losses that I'm actually a little bit more disappointed about, and that's the loss of Megas and, to a very, very, very lesser extent, Z-moves. I don't know why they want to. Maybe it's because they want to put all the focus on the Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing. But if you're going to take out certain Pokemon on top of Megas and Z-moves just for the sake of a new feature, that is a little bit nerve-wracking. Let me explain. Mainly it's because you're taking out 3 different features instantly, just like that. You're just snapping it away like Thanos, but then you show off a demo at E3 that looks a little bit outdated. A lot of people are going to be upset at that. Myself, I'm a little bit indifferent because I play by the rules of cautiously optimistic. By that I mean, I'm waiting it out. I am a little bit disappointed in certain aspects, but that's beside the point. If they do end up keeping the same look that they had in the E3 demo, then I'm going to be annoyed because that just doesn't make any sense. Why would you use outdated stuff at the cost of losing Megas, Z-moves, and Pokemon? The Megas and Pokemon being the beloved features. Z-moves, people are on the fence about that. But still, why would you... Look, it just blows my mind to a point where I'm speechless and I can't think of anything to say at this point. So, just show that you're trying to avoid this mess by showing off what you truly mean by animations and graphics. Speaking of animations and graphics, this is where it all lies. The whole point of them removing Pokemon, Megas, and Z-moves was to work harder on the animations and the graphics to make them look more polished for the HD nature of the Nintendo Switch. Now, a lot of people have been pointing to that demo back at E3, pointing out the tree graphics and the movements of the Wingull in the wild area. If you know what I'm talking about, you're going to be seeing both of them on screen now. The one thing that I do want to point out is everybody's outraged by this, but when you look at the original E3 demo of Breath of the Wild, the tree graphics weren't as good either, yet people praise that game a lot. But don't think I'm giving this a pass, because if that stays, if the Wingull animation stays, there is a reason for outrage. That just means they didn't polish it like they said they would. So that is the main thing. People keep pointing this out as, why are they removing this? They're making less work, and then they don't do what they actually say they would. So I do see the issues with the bring back the National Dex movement, but there are certain extremes that people are hitting at the fact that certain features aren't returning, certain Pokemon are returning. I get why you're mad. Trust me, I'm disappointed at it as well, but that's not to say I'm mad about it. We're gonna find out the reasoning behind my opinions in the resolution later, but I wanted to touch on the negative aspects from this movement in this video. And I do want to hear what you think about the negative aspects. What complaints do you have? I still have complaints as well, but I'll leave that in the comments. So let me hear it in the comments below. But with that, that will wrap up the first of 3 parts to this series where we cover the good, the bad, and the resolution of the Bring Back the National Dex controversy. In the next video, we will cover the positives about it. Not that there really is many, but we still need to cover it because all is fair in love and war, and it wouldn't really be fair to not cover it. If you did enjoy this stop on the road to Sword and Shield, don't forget to show your love on the like button by dropping a like from the top and subscribing to join the hype train today, known as the Road to Sword and Shield. With that, I want to thank you for watching. I'm going to catch you back at the top later on because that's how we do it.